Now, there's been so much news this week that we're going to have to discuss it, and it's hard to know where we begin. Joining me from Queensland to have a stab at it all is Liberal MP Keith Pitt. Keith, happy Easter too. Can I start with that cheeky cartoon produced by Pauline Hanson's Please Explain? Have a look at this.
Yeah. Are you permanently disabled? Congratulations! You now qualify for the NDIS, brought to you by Labor.
That's right. The same geniuses that brought some of the biggest budget blowouts this country has ever seen comes our fastest growing expense yet.
The NDIS cost is almost unfathomable. $35 billion per year. That's just $100 million a day.
And we're not stopping there. We're growing by $75 million every single month and adding a new person to the NDIS every 6 minutes.
Okay, Keith, I'm putting my hand up. I thought it was very funny. It's outraged the lefties, which makes it appeal even more to me. What did you think about it?
It's a bit like Monty Python. Help, 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 I'm being offended. I mean, the Please Explain people clearly wanted to attract attention, and that's what people are giving them. I mean, seriously, mate, I'm just tired of this perpetual outrage from individuals across, now, not only here, but around the world. Everyone's offended by everything. Everything's awful. They might want to go back and have a look at the Paul Hogan Show or Kingswood Country or some of those older comedic turnouts. They might get an idea of what it was like.
Kingswood Country. Gee, I was raised on that. Hey, humour aside, though, the cartoon isn't actually wrong, OK? It takes some licence. But the NDIS is going to grow to be bigger than the defence budget. It truly is a giant black hole that actually, I think, threatens to devour the nation's finances. Does anyone in Canberra seem really worried about that prospect?
Well, I'm worried, Cory. I mean, the points that are being made are accurate and based on what people have received support for. I think every Australian wants to make sure that people with a disability have the support that they need. But in the world of the reality, everything has to be balanced and budgeted. You've got Chris Bowen throwing billions of dollars at third world countries for climate reparations, safeguard mechanisms, taxes. We now see the low income offset tax thresholds going to disappear apparently, and yet everything has to be paid for. This is just the reality.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that tax offset is expected to expire, I think, in this year's budget. That's a decision that's going to see Australians, if it happens, earning less than $126,000 face one of the largest tax increases in history. I mean, household budgets are already under enormous pressure. This would break a lot of them, wouldn't it?
Well, interest rates are up, cost of living is up. People are really struggling, right? They're doing it tough. And now the Labor Treasurer is going to take away this offset, which could be as much as $1,500. I mean, even if it's $300 or $400, that's a lot of money for a lot of people. It affects millions of Australians. But I'll give you a rock-solid guarantee, Cory, he'll blame the coalition.
That's for sure, because they always seem to do that. Never take responsibility for their own failures. Hey, can we jump across to the US now? Because something very important has happened there in the last couple of days. It appears some leaked top-secret documents about the Ukraine war and a whole range of other defence areas has been put online, and it shows that, to me anyway, that not everyone's in favour of this war, and yet so many people seem to want to escalate it and continue it. What do you make of this leak? Strategic or very dangerous?
Oh, I think it's incredibly dangerous. If the reports are accurate, and I've got no way to know that they are, that's really concerning. One of our strongest and our biggest ally has a leak of this nature around something as sensitive as the war in the Ukraine, something which may give the Russians an advantage. I just want Russia to get out of Ukraine. That's the right decision for them to make. And I think the Ukrainian people have been incredibly stoic just to be in the position that they're in right now, obviously with a lot of support from around the world. But, well, here's hoping the same thing doesn't happen with nuclear submarines, for example, Cory. I'd be concerned about the situation as is now.
Yeah, we should all be concerned because we have got defence problems that are a lot closer to home. The Chinese have been rattling their sabres around Taiwan this week, and we distract ourselves with talk of the voice. A lot of people are ignoring what's happening over there. It is a growing concern because if China moves to take Taiwan, America have said they're going to go in there, and that puts Australia in an invidious position, doesn't it?
Well, if anyone from the Chinese Communist Party is watching, and I'm sure they are, we want to see a de-escalation in tensions. We don't want to see this ratchet up. We don't want to see increased risk. we'll continue to support freedom of navigation in both at sea and in the air. But this type of sabre rallying is very concerning, and it should be for all Australians. And the best way to deal with this is for everyone just to take a calming breath and step back from what they're doing right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge challenge and something the government and the opposition, of course, are going to have to deal with in the months and years ahead. Keith Pitt, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Easter, and appreciate you joining me on Bernardi tonight.